You are about to take the first step toward a version of yourself that you may not even recognize yet. This audiobook is not about quick fixes or empty motivation. It is about real change that happens when you commit to intentional action, daily discipline, and honest self-reflection. Over the next 7 days, you will learn how to take control of your mind, build unshakable confidence, fuel your body, master your emotions, and create habits that produce lasting results. Every chapter in this audiobook is designed to be practical. You will get clear steps you can start applying immediately. You will learn how to structure your mornings so they set the tone for high performance, how to remove distractions so you can focus without effort, and how to track your progress to see real growth. You will also discover how surrounding yourself with the right people, speaking with confidence, and embracing challenges can completely shift the trajectory of your life. This is not about doing a little better, it is about doing everything differently. You will face discomfort, push limits, and confront your fears. And through that process, you will rise stronger every single day. By the end of this journey, you will understand what it takes to transform your mindset, your habits, and your life. If you follow the steps honestly and consistently, the person you see in the mirror at the end of the 7 days will not be the same person who started this journey. This is your chance to stop waiting for change and start creating it yourself. Chapter 1: Reclaim control of your mind and choose disciplined focus. The greatest power a person can ever reclaim is the power over their own mind. Everything begins there. The mind is the foundation of every decision, every emotion, every success, and every failure. It is both the weapon and the weakness, the storm and the stillness. Those who master it become unshakable, while those who drift with its impulses live at the mercy of chaos. If you truly want to become unrecognizable in 7 days, the first and most important step is to take back control of your mind. You cannot change your life if you do not first command your thoughts. You cannot build a new identity while your attention is scattered across 1,000 meaningless distractions. Transformation begins with focus. Focus is not just the ability to concentrate, it is the art of directing your energy toward what truly matters. The world today is designed to steal that energy. Every screen, every notification, every subtle comparison on social media pulls you away from yourself. You might not even notice it happening. One small distraction becomes a habit, and habits quietly shape your destiny. The mind becomes restless, unfocused, and addicted to noise. That is why so many people feel drained even before the day begins. Their attention has been sold to everything but their own growth. To reclaim control of your mind, you must first understand that it is not an instant switch, it is a deliberate training. You are not trying to silence your thoughts, you are learning to guide them. Imagine your mind as a wild horse. You do not fight it into submission, you guide it until it learns discipline. Each time you choose focus over distraction, you are taming that force. Each time you say no to meaningless impulses, you strengthen your will. Self-mastery begins in these small, invisible victories. When you wake up each morning, your first thought sets the tone for your entire day. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phone. They check messages, notifications, news, or posts. Without realizing it, they hand over their mental energy before they have even claimed it. They start their day reacting to the world instead of creating it. That simple act trains the brain to chase stimulation instead of focus. The solution is simple yet powerful. Reclaim your first moments of consciousness. Before you look at a screen, take a few deep breaths, sit in stillness, and remind yourself what matters. Ask a simple question: what kind of person do I want to be today? That question reclaims control. It shifts your awareness inward, where strength begins. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from impulsiveness and emotional turbulence. It frees you from wasting time on things that do not serve your purpose. A disciplined mind does not chase every emotion, it observes, chooses, and acts. When you choose disciplined focus, you decide to lead your mind instead of following it. You stop letting random thoughts dictate your direction. You become intentional with what you think, what you feel, and what you do. That is how transformation begins, not with sudden change, but with deliberate control. To train the mind, you must first learn to observe it. Pay attention to how it reacts throughout the day. Notice the moments when it resists work, seeks comfort, or tries to escape into distraction. Do not judge these moments, study them. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. When you become aware of your inner patterns, you start seeing the truth: the mind is not always on your side. It looks for ease, not growth. It prefers pleasure over purpose. But when you become aware of this tendency, you reclaim choice. You are no longer just reacting, you are deciding. A simple but powerful exercise is to pause several times a day and ask, where is my attention right now? This question pulls you back from automatic behavior. Each time you ask it, you bring your mind home. Attention is the currency of your life. Whatever you give it to grows. If you give it to fear, fear expands. If you give it to your goals gain power. Most people never question where their attention goes. That is why they live tired, scattered lives. But when you begin to direct it, everything changes. Imagine focusing your attention like a beam of light. When that light is scattered, it barely warms anything. But when concentrated, it can ignite fire. Your mind works the same way. Every scattered thought weakens your energy. Every focused moment multiplies it. The difference between those who drift and those who achieve is not talent, it is focus. The focused person moves forward with clarity, while the distracted one circles endlessly. The modern world thrives on stealing attention. The most successful companies are those that understand how to keep your mind busy. That is why reclaiming focus is an act of rebellion. It is choosing to live with purpose in a culture built on distraction. It takes courage to close the door on noise and return to silence. But it is in that silence that you will rediscover yourself. Each morning, begin with intentional focus training. Sit quietly for 10 minutes and concentrate on your breathing. Feel the air move in and out. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This is not meditation for peace, it is training for control. You are strengthening your ability to direct thought. Over time, your focus becomes sharper. You will notice yourself getting distracted less, thinking more clearly, and acting with precision. Throughout the day, practice mental discipline by choosing what you give energy to. If something bothers you, pause before reacting. Ask yourself whether this moment deserves your peace. Most things do not. When you choose calmness, you reclaim power. A disciplined mind does not lose control over trivial things. It knows how to protect its energy. Mental discipline also means setting boundaries with your environment. If your surroundings constantly pull you into distraction, change them. Keep your workspace clean. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Create physical spaces that reflect mental clarity. Every environment either feeds focus or drains it. Choose to live in alignment with your goals. Focus grows stronger through effort. The mind resists at first. It craves novelty and stimulation. But as you train it, that resistance becomes strength. Think of focus as a muscle. The more you practice it, the more powerful it becomes. Begin with short periods of uninterrupted work. Set a timer for 30 minutes and commit to one task only. When you finish, rest for 5 minutes, then repeat. Over time, your ability to stay focused will expand. This habit, repeated daily, will reshape how your mind operates. You will start noticing a deeper sense of calm. Instead of feeling pulled in 10 directions, you will feel grounded. That grounded energy is what makes you unrecognizable. People will see it in your eyes, hear it in your tone, feel it in your presence. A person in control of their mind carries quiet power. They no longer need to prove anything. They move with clarity, act with intention, and inspire without speaking. It is easy to underestimate how much power the mind holds. Every breakthrough, invention, and act of greatness began as a thought. But most people never reach that level because they are trapped in mental noise. They chase stimulation instead of stillness. Yet it is stillness that creates insight. When the mind is calm, it becomes creative. When it is focused, it becomes unstoppable. To reclaim control of your mind, you must also control what you consume. The mind is a reflection of what you feed it. If you constantly absorb negativity, comparison, or gossip, Your thoughts will mirror that. You cannot build a strong mind on weak input. Be selective about what enters your awareness. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to voices that inspire discipline, not comfort. Consume less noise, and your mind will naturally become quieter. There will be days when focus feels impossible. Days when emotions take over or motivation fades. These are the days that test your discipline. Do not wait to feel ready. Act regardless. True control comes from doing what must be done even when you do not feel like it. The mind respects consistency. When it sees that you act with purpose despite resistance, it begins to follow your command. You will also encounter fear, the fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty. The unfocused mind amplifies fear because it lacks direction, but when you train focus, fear loses its power. You stop giving attention to what might go wrong and start focusing on what you can control. Stoic thinkers understood this well. External events cannot disturb you unless you allow them to. Control the inner world, and the outer world loses its grip. Every day is a chance to reclaim more control. Begin by setting daily intentions. Write down 3 things you will focus on and commit to them fully. Do not multitask. The human mind cannot perform 2 deep tasks at once. Choose one priority at a time and give it everything. When you finish, move to the next with the same energy. That simple act of single tasking can transform your productivity and peace. At night, review your day. Reflect on moments when you lost focus and what triggered it. This reflection is not for guilt but for growth. Each day teaches you about your mind. You begin to see patterns, what strengthens focus and what breaks it. With time, awareness becomes mastery. You start predicting distractions before they happen, and that foresight gives you freedom. Reclaiming control of your mind is not about perfection, it is about progress. Some days will feel effortless, others heavy. The goal is to return to focus again and again. Every return strengthens the connection between intention and action. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. This repetition builds mental toughness, the ability to stay calm, clear, and disciplined under any condition. The transformation will not be loud or dramatic. It will happen quietly, in the moments when you choose focus over chaos, clarity over confusion, purpose over distraction. Over time, your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy. You will start noticing that you respond differently to life. Things that once irritated you will no longer touch you. Situations that once overwhelmed you will now feel manageable. You will see problems with clarity instead of panic. That is the gift of disciplined focus. It turns turmoil into strategy. If you want to become unrecognizable, start by controlling the one thing no one else can: your inner world. A calm and focused mind radiates strength. It commands respect without demanding it. It attracts opportunities because it operates with purpose. When you reach this level of self-control, the external world begins to align with your internal state. You stop chasing validation because you already possess certainty. Each day of your transformation will begin here with mental discipline. Before you build habits, chase goals, or seek change, you must first master your mind. The person who controls their thoughts controls their destiny, and this control is not mystical, it is built through daily choices. Every time you say no to distraction, you strengthen it. Every time you choose focus, you reclaim power. In 7 days of intentional mental training, you will notice change. On day 1, you will feel resistance. On day 2, awareness will sharpen. By day 4, you will sense calm emerging. By day 7, focus will feel natural. You will begin to see the world differently, not through noise, but through clarity. The same problems will exist, but they will no longer shake you. You will respond with composure and strength. That is how you become unrecognizable, not because the world changes, but because you do. You begin walking through life with stillness, purpose, and control. You stop being pulled by emotions or distractions. You start leading with intention. People around you will notice the shift. They will see the calm in your presence, the confidence in your actions, the steadiness in your words. That transformation begins and ends with one choice: to reclaim control of your mind and choose disciplined focus. The mind is your greatest tool and your greatest test. Train it daily, guard it fiercely, direct it toward what matters. Once you master it, everything else follows. This is the beginning of becoming unrecognizable, the moment you decide that your thoughts belong to you, and you alone. Chapter 2. Transform your mornings with powerful, intentional daily rituals. Every morning gives you a fresh chance to reshape your life. The way you begin your day defines how you think, feel, and perform for the rest of it. The first few hours after waking are the foundation on which your mindset, energy, and discipline are built. When you take control of your mornings, you take control of your entire day. Those hours are the most powerful because they carry silence, clarity, and the opportunity to start again before the world's noise reaches you. To transform yourself, you must begin by transforming those first moments. A strong morning ritual is not about routine, it is about intention. It is the conscious decision to design your day instead of drifting through it. Most people wake up and immediately step into distraction. Their phone becomes the first thing they see. Their mind fills with messages, updates, and demands. Before their feet even touch the ground, their focus is already divided. They have entered the day reacting, not creating. This is where everything starts to unravel. If you want to rise above mediocrity, you must claim your mornings as sacred. The first hour after waking should belong entirely to you. It is your time to set direction, to strengthen your mindset, and to build the energy you will carry through the day. The first step toward transforming your morning is awareness. Pay attention to how you currently start your day. Do you rush? Do you wake up already tired or anxious? Awareness reveals what needs to change. Many people believe they don't have time for morning rituals, but time is not the issue, priority is. The moment you recognize how powerful your mornings can be, you begin to make space for them. You wake earlier, you move slower, and you live with greater intention. The goal is not to have a perfect morning, but a purposeful one. Start with your wake-up moment. How you rise matters. When you wake up, avoid hitting the snooze button. The act of delaying your day weakens your mental strength. Each time you snooze, you train your mind to choose comfort over action. Instead, train yourself to stand up the moment your alarm goes off. This single decision builds momentum. It tells your mind that you are in control, that you start your day by doing what you said you would. That small victory sets the tone for everything that follows. After waking, step away from technology. The mind is delicate in those first minutes. It absorbs everything you feed it. If the first thing you do is scroll through endless information, you lose mental clarity. Replace that habit with stillness. Take a few deep breaths. Feel your body wake up. Remind yourself of your purpose. Ask yourself what kind of person you want to be today. This simple act creates direction and strength. It keeps your thoughts centered on growth rather than noise. Next, move your body. Physical movement first thing in the morning is one of the fastest ways to build energy and focus. You do not need to train intensely. Even a few minutes of stretching, walking, or deep breathing awakens your system. When your body moves, your mind sharpens. You increase blood flow, improve mood, and activate the discipline that will carry into every task ahead. Movement teaches your body that the day has begun, and your energy responds. Each repetition, each stretch, is a reminder that you are preparing yourself for excellence, not survival. After movement, turn inward. Reflection is a powerful way to bring peace and purpose to your mornings. Journaling for even 5 minutes can change how you experience your entire day. Write what you are grateful for, what you want to focus on, and what kind of mindset you will carry. This practice shifts your attention from what you lack to what you have. Gratitude calms the mind and builds resilience. When you begin the day in appreciation, problems feel smaller and focus becomes easier. Journaling also builds awareness. It allows you to see patterns in your thoughts, goals, and challenges. Over time, those pages become a mirror of your growth. Many successful individuals also include reading or learning in their morning rituals. When your mind is fresh, you absorb knowledge more deeply. Reading even a few pages of something meaningful each morning helps shape your mindset and reinforces discipline. Choose words that inspire growth, wisdom, or clarity. This is mental nourishment. It strengthens your perspective and gives you ideas that influence the rest of your day. A strong morning ritual feeds both the mind and body, preparing them to operate at their highest level. After reflection or reading, set clear intentions for your day. Write down the top 3 things you want to accomplish. Not 10, not 20. 3. Simplicity creates focus. When you start with too many goals, your attention scatters. When you choose 3 priorities, you create clarity. This small act transforms productivity. It gives you direction and prevents mental clutter. Each task completed builds momentum and confidence. Intention is what turns action into purpose. Another crucial part of a powerful morning is silence. In a world filled with constant noise, silence is rare and valuable. Take a few minutes to simply sit in quiet. No music, no screens, no movement. Just silence. It allows you to hear your own thoughts, to feel the stillness beneath the surface. This quiet strengthens awareness and calms the nervous system. You begin the day with inner balance instead of mental chaos. People who begin their mornings in silence move through the day with greater peace. They are less reactive, more focused, and more present. Nutrition also plays a major role in your morning transformation. What you eat early in the day affects your energy, mood, and focus. Choose foods that fuel clarity, hydrating water, clean protein, and natural nourishment. Avoid heavy or processed meals that make you sluggish. Your body is the engine of your performance. Treat it with respect. Drinking water immediately after waking also helps flush toxins and increase alertness. Simple, consistent habits like this compound over time into massive results. It is important to understand that the purpose of morning rituals is not to follow someone else's formula, but to create one that serves your own growth. Some people prefer meditation, others prefer movement. The key is intentional design. Every part of your morning should reflect your values and goals. Your ritual should give you structure, energy, and focus, not feel like an obligation. The best morning routine is the one you will do consistently. Build it around your lifestyle, but keep it meaningful. Consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. Doing something once does not change you, doing it daily does. The first few days of change may feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is progress. It means you are moving beyond old patterns. Each morning that you wake up with intention, you reinforce discipline. That discipline spreads to every area of your life. You start managing time better, making clearer decisions, and handling challenges with more composure. The mind begins to expect focus each morning, and soon it becomes natural. Morning rituals also reshape your relationship with time. When you wake earlier and use your first hours intentionally, you stop feeling rushed. You gain control over your schedule instead of being controlled by it. You create space between you and the world. This space allows you to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. You no longer start your day under pressure, you start with purpose. That single shift changes how you experience everything else. You move through your day with clarity because you started it with calmness. Transformation through morning rituals also influences identity. When you rise early and live intentionally, you start to see yourself differently. You begin to trust yourself. You realize that you are capable of discipline, consistency, and focus. The person you become in those quiet hours is the person who shapes the rest of your life. The early moments become evidence of who you are becoming, someone who chooses growth over comfort, purpose over laziness, and strength over distraction. Every morning gives you the opportunity to start again. The past does not matter when you stand in front of a new sunrise. What matters is how you show up today. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is not talent, it is how they use their mornings. People who own their mornings live with direction. People who ignore them drift through routine. If you want to become unrecognizable, take full command of your first hour each day. That single habit will separate you from the version of yourself that once felt stuck. This transformation will not be loud or dramatic. It will happen quietly in your daily choices. Over time, your energy will increase, your focus will sharpen, and your confidence will rise. You will notice that challenges feel lighter and your days flow smoother. Others will see the change without you saying a word. They will notice your calm presence, your alertness, and your consistency. That power comes from the simple act of owning your mornings. Your morning is your foundation. Guard it. Protect it from noise, distraction, and negativity. Design it with purpose. Start your day before the world demands your attention. Move, reflect, learn, plan, and focus. The person who builds each morning with intention will never again feel powerless. You will walk into each day knowing that you are prepared, centered, and strong. That is what it means to transform your mornings, to live each day with purpose, not reaction. And when you do this consistently, you will become someone you once only imagined, a person unrecognizable from who you were before, built one intentional morning at a time. Chapter 3C: Eliminate distractions and commit fully to personal excellence. Excellence demands undivided attention. It is not something you reach by chance or luck. It is a result of total commitment and a refusal to be distracted. In a world where noise competes for every second of your focus, greatness belongs to those who learn to protect their attention. Distraction is the silent enemy of progress. It takes small moments of your time but steals massive parts of your potential. Every time you give in to it, you lose a piece of your focus, and over time, those pieces add up. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who remain stuck in the ordinary is not intelligence or opportunity. It is the ability to stay focused when everyone else is busy chasing noise. To eliminate distractions, you must first recognize how deeply they have infiltrated your life. Distraction no longer appears only as entertainment or laziness. It hides in constant notifications, endless scrolling, shallow multitasking, and the habit of reacting to everything instantly. These small interruptions drain mental energy, reduce creativity, and destroy discipline. When your attention is scattered, your potential is too. The first step toward excellence is awareness. Notice how often you interrupt yourself. Notice how many hours disappear to meaningless activity. Most people are unaware that distraction has become their default state. Awareness is the foundation of change because you cannot correct what you refuse to see. Excellence begins when you start treating your attention as sacred. Your focus is not infinite. It is a limited resource that must be guarded. Every moment of distraction costs you more than you think because it breaks your momentum. When you lose focus, you don't just lose time. You lose the depth of concentration that produces meaningful work. The most productive people in the world are not those who work the longest, but those who work without interruption. They enter deep states of focus and protect them fiercely. You must do the same. Create boundaries that make distraction impossible. Silence your phone during important work. Remove unnecessary tabs. Step away from environments that pull you into trivial conversations. When you cut away the noise, what remains is clarity, and clarity is the birthplace of excellence. Distractions are not only external, they often live within. Internal distractions such as self-doubt, overthinking, fear, and procrastination are far more dangerous than notifications or noise. These distractions disguise themselves as thoughts, but they function like barriers. They keep you from taking action. To master them, you must learn to quiet the inner voice that always seeks comfort or perfection. Excellence is never found in comfort. It lives in the effort of consistent, focused action, even when you do not feel ready. When doubt appears, act anyway. When the mind wanders, bring it back to what matters. This practice builds mental toughness. Each time you refocus, you strengthen the ability to control your mind. Committing to personal excellence requires building an environment that reflects your goals. Your surroundings either pull you toward growth or push you toward distraction. A cluttered workspace leads to a cluttered mind. Simplify your environment until only what matters remains. Keep your space clean, organized, and free of unnecessary items. Order creates mental peace, and peace allows deeper focus. Design your surroundings so that excellence feels natural. Place reminders of your goals where you can see them daily. Let your environment become an extension of your discipline, not a source of temptation. To achieve deep focus, you must also learn the power of saying no. Every yes you give to something meaningless is a no to something important. Many people struggle to make progress, not because they lack skill, but because they are afraid to say no. They agree to tasks, conversations, and commitments that drain their energy. Excellence demands selective effort. You cannot master everything, but you can master the few things that truly matter. Each day, ask yourself what deserves your full attention. Then give it without hesitation. Protect your time with the same strength you would protect your dreams, because they are connected. Time wasted is opportunity lost. Multitasking is another form of distraction disguised as productivity. The human brain is not built to perform multiple complex tasks simultaneously. When you switch between activities, your attention fractures and efficiency collapses. True excellence comes from single task focus, the discipline of doing one thing with complete presence. When you work, work fully. When you rest, rest completely. Do not blur the two. This balance ensures that your energy remains high and your results remain sharp. People who master single task focus achieve more in less time because their attention is whole, not divided. Distraction often appears in moments of boredom or fatigue. When the mind feels tired, it seeks escape. Most people turn to their phones or entertainment as relief, but this only weakens focus further. Instead, learn to sit with boredom. In that space, creativity awakens. The mind learns to rest while remaining aware. Excellence requires patience with stillness, the ability to remain present even when nothing exciting happens. That patience becomes power, because the person who can stay still without losing focus can also act with precision when it matters most. Personal excellence is not about perfection. It is about progress through discipline. You must decide what standard you will live by, then hold yourself to it even when no one is watching. Each time you choose focus over distraction, you reinforce your identity as someone committed to growth. Discipline is not a restriction, it is self-respect. It is the understanding that your time and energy are too valuable to waste. Excellence grows from consistent effort, and consistency is impossible without focus. You cannot excel if you are constantly pulled in different directions. The world will always offer distractions. Your strength is measured by how few you accept. Technology is one of the greatest tools ever created, but it is also one of the strongest distractions. If you do not control it, it will control you. Set clear boundaries for when and how you use it. Schedule specific times for checking messages or social media instead of reacting instantly. Each time you respond to a notification, your brain receives a small burst of stimulation. Over time, this conditions you to seek constant novelty, which destroys deep focus. Break that pattern. Use technology with purpose, not passivity. Let it serve your goals, not steal them. Excellence demands structure. Create systems that support your focus instead of relying on willpower alone. Willpower is temporary, structure is permanent. Plan your day in blocks of deep work, rest, and reflection. During those blocks, remove every source of interruption. Close unnecessary apps, turn your phone face down, and let others know that you are unavailable. This separation allows you to work with intensity and recover fully afterward. The rhythm of focus and rest creates long-term productivity and balance. Over time, it becomes second nature and distractions lose their grip. To eliminate distractions, you must also learn the art of emotional discipline. Emotions are powerful, but they can easily shift your attention. Frustration, impatience, or worry can pull you away from what matters. Emotional discipline means staying steady regardless of how you feel. When you experience strong emotions, acknowledge them without reacting. Use them as signals, not commands. The mind trained in calmness is difficult to distract. It remains centered even when circumstances are chaotic. That calmness is one of the highest forms of excellence. Every day gives you a chance to practice this mastery. When you sit down to work, challenge yourself to focus fully for a set time. Begin with 30 minutes, then increase gradually. During this time, do nothing else. When your attention wanders, bring it back. This simple practice strengthens concentration over time. Each session becomes a mental workout that builds endurance. Just like physical strength, focus grows through repetition. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Soon, what once felt difficult will feel natural. Commitment to personal excellence also means setting clear standards for yourself. Define what excellence means in your life. It could be showing up fully, keeping your word, or delivering your best effort in everything you do. When you have standards, decision-making becomes easier. You stop wasting energy on trivial choices because your direction is clear. Excellence is not an act, it is a mindset. It is a quiet decision you make daily to rise above excuses and distractions, no matter how small. The process of eliminating distractions is not about isolation, it is about alignment. When you remove what doesn't matter, what does matter becomes stronger. You create space for growth, creativity, and mastery. Your work improves, your relationships deepen, and your peace expands. You begin to live with clarity, moving with precision instead of noise. The world starts to notice, not because you are louder, but because you are sharper. Your attention becomes your signature. People trust those who can stay focused in a distracted world because it reflects strength and purpose. When you live with this level of focus, you will find that life slows down. You experience moments more deeply. You no longer rush through tasks, you engage with them. You see beauty in simplicity, and that awareness becomes fulfillment. Excellence is not just about achievement, it is about presence. It is the ability to give your full self to the moment at hand. When you master this, everything you touch improves: your work, your relationships, your sense of peace. Distraction is the enemy of greatness. Every time you silence it, you move closer to your potential. Personal excellence requires daily effort, but the reward is freedom, the freedom to live with purpose, clarity, and peace of mind. When you choose to focus completely on what matters, you rise above the ordinary. That is how transformation happens. It begins quietly in the moments you decide that your focus will no longer be divided. From that point forward, every action, every choice, and every thought aligns toward your highest standard. That is what it means to eliminate distractions and commit fully to personal excellence, the moment when your entire being moves in one direction, without hesitation, without noise, and without compromise. Chapter 14. Fuel your body with clean energy and consistent movement. The body is the vessel through which all transformation happens. You can have the sharpest mind, the strongest will, and the deepest ambition, but without energy, none of it sustains. Your body is not separate from your personal growth, it is the foundation of it. Every thought, every decision, every action depends on the state of your physical energy. When your body is strong and nourished, your mind becomes clear and your focus sharpens. When your body is neglected, even the smallest tasks feel heavy. The quality of your energy determines the quality of your life, and the way you fuel and move your body determines that energy. To become unrecognizable, you must treat your body like the engine of greatness it is. What you eat, how you move, and how you rest are not small details, they are the roots of transformation. Energy is not luck or genetics, it is built through daily discipline. If you want to perform at your best, you must learn to give your body what it truly needs, not what it temporarily craves. You cannot feed yourself with junk and expect clarity. You cannot remain sedentary and expect strength. The human body was designed to move, to repair, and to thrive when cared for properly. Excellence demands that you respect this design. Clean energy begins with what you consume. Every bite of food is either fuel or poison, support or sabotage. The modern diet is filled with convenience, but convenience often comes at the cost of vitality. Processed food dulls the body, slows the mind, and weakens discipline. Real food, however, restores balance and power. The goal is not perfection, but awareness. Start by paying attention to how your meals make you feel. Notice which foods give you energy and which make you sluggish. The body always tells the truth, you only need to listen. Hydration is one of the simplest yet most overlooked forms of self-care. The human body depends on water for every essential function: focus, digestion, and cellular repair. When you're even slightly dehydrated, your concentration drops and fatigue rises. Drinking enough water is not a small act, it is an act of respect toward your body. Begin your day with water before coffee or breakfast. Refill throughout the day. It seems simple, but the smallest consistent acts often create the greatest transformation. Clean energy is also about balance. Many people swing between extremes, overeating or starving, over-exercising or doing nothing. The body thrives on consistency, not extremes. You do not need to follow a complex diet to feel your best. You only need to eat real food, foods grown from the earth, rich in nutrients and low in artificial ingredients. Vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains are not trends. They are timeless principles of vitality. When you nourish your body with these, you give your mind the stability it needs to stay disciplined and creative. Movement is the second pillar of physical excellence. The human body was never meant for stillness. Long hours of sitting weaken the body and cloud the mind. Movement keeps energy circulating and prevents stagnation. You don't need to be an athlete to benefit from it. You only need consistency. The goal is not to move intensely, but regularly. A short walk, a stretch, a brief workout, all of it matters. What's important is that your body experiences motion daily. Movement builds momentum in all areas of life. When your body feels alive, your mind follows. Exercise is not just physical, it's psychological. It builds resilience, confidence, and inner strength. When you push your body through discomfort, you teach your mind discipline. You prove to yourself that you can do difficult things and still keep going. That mental toughness spills into every challenge you face. Training your body is training your will. Each repetition strengthens not only muscle but also character. You start to see effort as empowerment, not punishment. The sweat becomes a symbol of your progress, not something to avoid. One of the most powerful ways to sustain energy is to create a movement ritual you actually enjoy. If you dread your workouts, consistency will fail. Choose forms of movement that make you feel alive: running, lifting, yoga, dancing, cycling, or simply walking outdoors. The activity doesn't matter as much as the intention behind it. Movement should connect you with yourself, not drain your spirit. When you move with joy and purpose, your energy naturally increases. That energy fuels your ambition and sharpens your focus. Rest is equally important. Many people chase productivity and sacrifice recovery, thinking rest is weakness. But rest is where growth happens. Muscles repair, hormones balance, and the nervous system resets. Without proper rest, even the cleanest diet and strongest workouts lose their power. Sleep is not optional. It is a daily opportunity to rebuild. Create habits that promote quality rest. Turn off screens before bed, keep your room dark, and maintain a consistent sleep schedule. A well-rested mind thinks clearly, decides wisely, and performs with intensity. Consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. One healthy meal will not change you, just as one workout will not transform your life. But repeated daily, these habits reshape your identity. The person who moves daily and eats consciously becomes someone who naturally radiates energy and discipline. You begin to trust yourself because your actions align with your goals. The energy you build through these habits becomes the fuel for everything else: focus, emotional balance, and productivity. To fuel your body with clean energy also means to manage what drains it. Excess stress, negative environments, and toxic habits deplete vitality faster than poor food. Pay attention to how your surroundings affect you. Energy is contagious. People and places can either recharge or exhaust you. Protect your energy as carefully as you choose your meals. Spend time with people who challenge you to grow and environments that inspire calmness. The body responds to peace just as much as it does to nutrition. Movement also connects you with the present. When you engage your body, your awareness returns to the now. This presence reduces anxiety and increases gratitude. You stop living in your head and start living through experience. A morning walk, a moment of stretching, or deep breathing in fresh air are all acts of mindfulness through motion. These moments reset your nervous system and remind you that strength is not only built through effort, it's also built through awareness. Your physical energy influences every emotion you feel and every decision you make. When you eat poorly and remain inactive, it's easy to fall into irritability, laziness, and indecision. But when your body is well fed and moving daily, your emotions stabilize. You think clearer, act faster, and feel stronger. Many mental battles people face are magnified by physical neglect. Caring for your body is the foundation of emotional mastery. When you feel good physically, your mind naturally follows. The transformation that happens when you take care of your body is not just visible, it's deeply internal. You begin to carry yourself differently. Your posture straightens, your breathing deepens, your confidence grows. People notice, but more importantly, you notice. You feel capable again. You realize that control over your body gives you control over your life. You no longer live in reaction to fatigue or cravings, you live in response to purpose. To sustain this change, keep your routine simple but intentional. Eat real food, move daily, drink water, rest well, stay consistent. These are not revolutionary ideas, but when practiced with discipline, they create revolutionary results. The path to becoming unrecognizable is built on these small, daily victories. The energy they generate gives you the strength to pursue excellence in everything else you do. As you build these habits, remember that your body listens to your lifestyle more than your words. If you tell yourself you want energy but continue to neglect your health, the body cannot obey. It responds to action. When you honor it with movement and nourishment, it rewards you with vitality. That vitality becomes your power. It drives your focus, sharpens your discipline, and strengthens your spirit. The greatest advantage you can have is a body that supports your purpose. Every goal you chase becomes easier when your energy is high. Every challenge feels manageable when your strength is steady. The discipline you apply to your health will reflect in every other area of your life. The way you treat your body is the clearest sign of how much you value yourself. When you start caring for it fully, you declare that you are worthy of strength, energy, and excellence. Fueling your body with clean energy and consistent movement is not just about health, it's about empowerment. It is the physical expression of self-respect. It's a daily reminder that transformation is not found in motivation but in action. When your body thrives, your mind expands. When your energy flows freely, your purpose becomes unstoppable. Every breath, every step, every mindful choice builds a stronger version of you. Over time, that strength becomes visible in how you think, work, and live. You become a person of vitality, clarity, and confidence, a person who not only looks unrecognizable, but feels entirely reborn from the inside out. Chapter 5: Master your emotions and respond calmly under pressure. Emotional mastery is the art of leading yourself when the world feels heavy. It is the ability to stay steady when chaos surrounds you and composed when pressure mounts. The truth is that life will always bring uncertainty, challenge, and conflict. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. That choice defines strength. The person who learns to master emotion does not become emotionless. They simply learn to feel deeply without being ruled by feelings. They experience life fully but remain grounded. This calmness under pressure is not a gift. It is a skill that can be built through awareness, reflection, and discipline. Every emotion carries energy, and that energy can either build or break you. When anger, fear, or frustration control your actions, you lose clarity. You speak words you regret, make decisions you later question, and allow external events to dictate your peace. Emotional mastery begins when you stop reacting blindly and start observing. Awareness creates space between the stimulus and your response. That space is where power lives. When something provokes you, pause before you act. Feel the emotion rising, but don't immediately express it. Name it quietly within yourself. The act of naming it anger, disappointment, worry reduces its control. Once you recognize it, you can guide it. This simple pause is one of the most powerful habits you can build because it replaces impulse with intention. Calmness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. Anyone can shout, panic, or collapse when things go wrong. It takes discipline to stay centered. When you remain calm, you think clearly and make decisions that protect your long-term goals. In moments of pressure, remind yourself that emotions are temporary waves. They rise and fall. Acting during the rise usually leads to regret. Wait until the wave passes, and you will respond with wisdom rather than reaction. That small shift changes everything, from relationships to leadership to personal peace. One of the greatest sources of emotional chaos is attachment to control. People often suffer because they try to control what they cannot. You cannot control others' opinions, outcomes, or the timing of life. You can only control effort, perspective, and attitude. The moment you release the need to control everything, you regain peace. Instead of fighting reality, you work with it. Stoic thinkers understood this truth centuries ago. External events do not harm you, your interpretation of them does. When you learn to separate what you can influence from what you cannot, your energy becomes focused and efficient. You no longer waste emotion on things beyond your reach. Emotional mastery also requires understanding the role of thought in feeling. Emotions are not random, they are reactions to interpretations. If you believe something is threatening, unfair, or personal, your body reacts accordingly. But if you shift your interpretation, the emotion changes. When pressure hits, ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this? Often, the pain comes from the story, not the event. Changing that story shifts your experience entirely. For example, instead of thinking, this situation is unfair, you can think, this situation is testing my patience and helping me grow. The facts remain, but your emotional experience transforms. Breathing is another essential part of emotional control. When the body is under stress, the breath becomes shallow and quick, signaling danger to the brain. This amplifies anxiety and reduces rational thinking. Deep, steady breathing reverses this process. It signals safety and calms the nervous system. When emotions rise, focus on your breath. Inhale slowly, hold briefly, and exhale fully. This simple act grounds you in the present. It is impossible to panic and breathe deeply at the same time. Use this tool often, especially in heated moments. Your breath is the bridge between body and mind, emotion and reason. To master emotions, you must also cultivate self-awareness. Observe how you typically respond to stress. Do you withdraw, argue, or seek distraction? Awareness of these patterns allows you to interrupt them. Every emotional reaction leaves clues: tension in the shoulders, faster heartbeat, or restless thoughts. The moment you notice these signs, pause. Recognize that you are entering an emotional state. Awareness turns automatic behavior into conscious choice. With time, this awareness becomes natural. You begin to notice emotional shifts before they take over, and that early recognition gives you control. Practicing emotional control in small moments builds strength for the big ones. Each time you remain patient in traffic, stay kind during a disagreement, or respond calmly to criticism, you strengthen emotional discipline. These small victories add up. Over time, you notice that things that once angered or unsettled you no longer do. What changed is not the world, it's your response to it. This stability becomes your power. People begin to trust you because your mood is not unpredictable. You become a pillar of composure in situations where others lose control. Pressure reveals character. It exposes what kind of foundation you've built. If your peace depends on comfort, you'll lose it easily. But if your peace comes from discipline, nothing can shake it. When life tests you with difficulty, see it as an opportunity to practice mastery. Each challenge becomes training for emotional strength. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Ask, how can I use this to grow? That single question changes suffering into development. Emotional mastery is not the absence of difficulty, it's the ability to face it with grace. A key part of emotional stability is learning detachment, not from people or goals, but from the need for immediate gratification. The emotionally reactive person demands results instantly and collapses when they don't appear. The disciplined person stays patient, understanding that progress takes time. Detachment means doing your best without being consumed by the outcome. It's the calmness that comes from knowing you've done your part. When you detach from instant results, you free yourself from unnecessary frustration. You start valuing consistency over perfection, process over outcome. Another way to strengthen emotional balance is through gratitude. Gratitude softens negative emotion by shifting focus from what's missing to what's present. When you face stress, pause and identify 3 things you appreciate in that moment. It could be your health, your strength, or simply the opportunity to learn. Gratitude expands perspective. It reminds you that difficulty is only one part of life, not the whole picture. People who practice gratitude daily recover from emotional setbacks faster because they keep their minds anchored in abundance instead of lack. Your environment also influences your emotional state. Surround yourself with calmness. Spend time in spaces that bring clarity instead of chaos. Limit exposure to constant negativity, news, gossip, or conflict. The more peace you cultivate around you, the easier it becomes to maintain peace within you. Stillness is contagious. Even spending a few minutes in silence daily strengthens emotional control. In silence, the mind resets and emotions settle naturally. It's not escapism, it's alignment. Silence reconnects you with the center that emotion often pulls you away from. To respond calmly under pressure, prepare before pressure arrives. Build habits that strengthen your mind daily. Reflection, journaling, exercise, and mindfulness. These practices fortify emotional resilience. When challenges come, your mind already knows how to stay centered. It's the same principle as physical training. You don't build strength during the competition. You build it through consistent preparation. Each day of calm reflection trains your emotional muscles. So when chaos hits, your default is composure, not panic. Self-talk is another critical part of emotional mastery. The way you speak to yourself in moments of difficulty shapes your reaction. If your inner voice is harsh and judgmental, pressure amplifies fear. If your inner voice is calm and rational, pressure becomes manageable. Practice speaking to yourself as a wise friend would. When you make a mistake, remind yourself that growth is built through imperfection. Replace, "I can't handle this," with, "I will handle this step by step." Words direct emotion and emotion directs action. Master your inner language and you master your emotional world. Forgiveness also frees emotional energy. Holding on to resentment or regret drains your strength and clouds judgment. Forgiveness is not approval of harm. It's the release of control that pain holds over you. It's choosing peace over bitterness. When you forgive, your emotional energy returns to you. That energy can then be used for creation, growth, and clarity. The person who forgives easily moves freely. The person who clings to anger stays bound to the past. Mastery requires letting go of what no longer serves you. Over time, emotional control becomes your natural state. You stop taking everything personally. You stop reacting to small inconveniences as if they're disasters. You start choosing peace even when you could choose argument. This maturity transforms how you experience life. People who used to trigger you no longer have power over you. Situations that once caused panic now bring curiosity. You begin to view emotion as a tool instead of a threat. You use it to understand yourself, to connect with others, and to make wiser decisions. When you master your emotions, you master your direction. Pressure no longer crushes you, it reveals your strength. Calmness becomes your advantage in a world that glorifies reaction. You stand out not because you are louder, but because you are stable. You become the kind of person others turn to in chaos, not because you have all the answers, but because your presence itself brings balance. Emotional mastery gives you that kind of quiet power, the kind that cannot be faked or forced. It comes from patience, awareness, and consistent practice. The journey to emotional control is lifelong. There will be moments when you slip, when anger or fear takes over. That is not failure, it is feedback. Each moment you return to calmness, you grow stronger. Mastery is not perfection, it is persistence. The more you practice awareness, the less power chaos holds over you. Eventually, you realize that true strength is not in dominance or defense, but in composure. To respond calmly under pressure is to live with intention, to act from wisdom rather than reaction. That is the essence of mastery, knowing that you cannot control everything, yet still choosing peace every single time. Chapter 6a, set bold goals and take relentless daily action. Bold goals separate those who live by design from those who live by default. They demand courage, vision, and unwavering commitment. To set a bold goal is to declare that you are no longer satisfied with mediocrity. It is a promise to yourself that you will not waste your potential. Most people set goals small enough to feel safe. They want results without risk, growth without discomfort, progress without effort. But safety never creates greatness. Growth begins when you dare to imagine something that scares you, a goal so powerful that it forces you to evolve into someone stronger. The purpose of a bold goal is not only to achieve something extraordinary, but to become someone extraordinary in the process. Every great achievement starts as an idea. a vision that first exists only in the mind. To turn that vision into reality, you must define it clearly. A vague goal produces vague results. Instead of saying you want to improve your life, specify how. The clearer your goal, the stronger your direction. Write it down in precise terms: what you want, why it matters, and when you will achieve it. When a goal is written, it becomes a contract between your present and future self. You no longer hope to achieve it, you commit to it. Clarity eliminates confusion, and once you have clarity, the path forward begins to reveal itself. Setting bold goals requires honesty. You must ask yourself what you truly want, not what you think you should want. Many people chase goals that belong to someone else, goals born from comparison or expectation. But borrowed dreams never sustain effort. You must choose a goal that ignites emotion, one that resonates deeply with your sense of purpose. When your goal aligns with your values, action becomes natural. The mind finds reasons to persist because it sees meaning in the struggle. This connection between purpose and pursuit gives life to your effort. Once your goal is clear, break it down into measurable steps. Bold goals can feel overwhelming if viewed as one massive task, but when divided into smaller, daily actions, they become manageable. Each step completed builds momentum. Progress is not about doing everything at once, it is about doing the right thing consistently. Define what progress looks like today, then act on it. You do not need motivation to begin, you need movement. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The first step always matters more than the perfect plan. Relentless daily action is the bridge between intention and transformation. Discipline is the tool that carries you across that bridge. Discipline means doing what must be done even when enthusiasm fades. Anyone can act when excitement is high. True progress comes from acting when it is not. Success is built quietly in the moments when no one is watching, when you choose persistence over distraction, consistency over comfort. The world rewards those who keep showing up, not those who wait for ideal conditions. Every small effort compounds over time into visible change. Bold goals require patience. Progress rarely happens in a straight line. There will be days when results feel invisible, when it seems like your effort is going nowhere. These are the moments that separate the committed from the casual. The impatient quit because they mistake slow progress for failure. The disciplined persist because they know consistency always wins. Progress is not measured in speed but in direction. Each day you move closer to your goal. No matter how small the step, you build momentum. Over time, that momentum becomes unstoppable. The path to bold goals will test your belief. Doubt will appear, often disguised as logic. It will tell you to aim smaller, to slow down, to be realistic. But realism is often another word for fear. Fear wants safety, not growth. You cannot eliminate fear, but you can act despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. When doubt whispers, remind yourself why you began. Revisit your vision. Picture the life waiting for you on the other side of discipline. That image will reignite your drive. Taking relentless action also requires efficiency. Action without strategy wastes energy. The most successful people focus on what moves the needle the most. Not every task deserves your attention. Learn to prioritize what truly drives results. Each morning, identify the 3 most impactful actions you can take toward your goal. Complete them before anything else. This simple focus principle prevents procrastination and builds momentum early in the day. When you master focus, progress becomes inevitable. To sustain consistent action, you must learn to manage your state of mind. Energy fluctuates, but discipline anchors you. Build systems that keep you aligned even when motivation fades. Create routines that support productivity, consistent sleep, structured mornings, planned breaks, and intentional reflection. These systems reduce decision fatigue and make discipline automatic. You no longer rely on willpower, you rely on structure. Systems protect your energy and ensure that your daily actions always move you closer to your goal. Accountability strengthens commitment. When you share your goals with someone who supports your growth, you increase your chances of following through. Accountability creates external pressure that reinforces internal discipline. You can also create self-accountability through tracking. Record your progress daily, no matter how small. When you see consistent effort on paper, you build confidence. Progress becomes proof, and proof strengthens belief. Belief then fuels even greater action. This cycle of action and belief is what creates transformation. To set bold goals is to accept challenge. It means inviting struggle and embracing discomfort. Growth is not comfortable. It demands effort and sacrifice. There will be times when you must say no to distractions, to comfort, and even to people who do not understand your vision. This isolation is not punishment, it is refinement. You are shaping a version of yourself that few will recognize because few choose this level of commitment. Each act of discipline carves away weakness and builds strength. Over time, you begin to crave challenge instead of avoiding it. The pursuit of a bold goal will reveal your true character. It will expose your habits, your fears, and your excuses. It will force you to confront your limitations and replace them with resilience. That is why bold goals are so powerful. They do not just change your circumstances, they change you. The person you become while pursuing them is the real reward. You evolve from someone who waits into someone who acts, from someone who wishes into someone who builds. Relentless action also means accepting imperfection. Many people stall because they wait for the perfect moment or perfect plan. But perfection is a form of procrastination. Progress requires action, even when conditions are uncertain. You will make mistakes, but mistakes are teachers, not failures. Each misstep offers information that refines your approach. The only true failure is inaction. The bold do not wait for clarity, they create it through consistent doing. Persistence is built through repetition. Each day that you show up, you strengthen the muscle of consistency. Over time, your daily actions become automatic. You stop negotiating with your mind about whether to act. You simply act. This is when momentum becomes your greatest ally. Success begins to feel natural because your habits align with your goals. What once required effort becomes effortless. This is the power of daily discipline. It transforms hard work into second nature. Your goals must stretch you beyond your current capacity. If your goal does not intimidate you, it is too small. Growth requires pressure. You cannot evolve in comfort. The greatest satisfaction in life comes not from achieving easy things, but from conquering challenges that once felt impossible. Each time you achieve a goal that once seemed beyond reach, your self-belief expands. You start to see that limits are illusions created by fear. When you live with this mindset, ambition becomes a lifestyle. At the end of each day, reflect on your effort. Ask yourself whether you acted in alignment with your goals. Reflection transforms action into wisdom. It allows you to adjust your path while maintaining your vision. Even when progress feels slow, reflection reveals how far you've come. This awareness fuels gratitude, and gratitude sustains motivation. You stop chasing validation and start valuing consistency. Bold goals demand time, patience, and resilience, but the reward is a life that feels fully lived. The person who sets daring goals and acts daily will always rise above those who wait for ideal circumstances. Each day of relentless action builds confidence, clarity, and competence. You begin to trust yourself completely because you have evidence of your discipline. That trust is unshakable. It is what allows you to face any challenge with certainty. In time, you will notice a shift. The dream that once felt distant becomes attainable, then inevitable. People will wonder how you changed so much, but you will know the truth. You became consistent. You stopped negotiating with excuses. You learned that success is not an event but a habit built on daily action aligned with purpose. The version of you that began this journey will seem unrecognizable because you will have grown beyond hesitation, beyond fear, beyond limitation. Bold goals and relentless action will have rewritten not just your results, but your entire identity. Chapter 70. Speak confidently and build unshakable self-belief. Confidence is a skill that begins inside and expresses itself outwardly. To speak with authority, you must first believe in your own value and trust your own voice. Many people wait for permission to speak or validation from others, but true power comes from self-assurance. Confidence is not arrogance. It is clarity of purpose combined with trust in your capabilities. Every word you speak carries weight when it originates from belief. Conversely, uncertainty in your mind is audible in your voice. When your inner conviction strengthens, your words naturally command attention. Self-belief and confident speech are inseparable. They feed each other, creating a cycle of influence and personal strength. Building self-belief starts with understanding your worth. Stop measuring yourself against others and start evaluating yourself based on effort, growth, and values. The comparison trap erodes confidence because it anchors your self-worth to someone else's life. Instead, focus on your own journey and accomplishments. Recognize what you have learned, the challenges you have overcome, and the skills you are developing. When you consistently acknowledge your progress, your mind begins to see evidence that you are capable. This internal validation becomes the foundation upon which confidence is built. Preparation strengthens speech and belief simultaneously. Speaking confidently is not about being perfect. It is about clarity and readiness. Know your topic, your purpose, and the key points you want to express. When you are prepared, hesitation diminishes and authority naturally emerges. Practice is essential. Rehearse what matters, refine your message, and repeat until you feel composed in your own words. This preparation does not create rigidity, it creates freedom. When you know your material, you can respond fluidly under pressure, and your voice reflects certainty instead of doubt. Mindset shapes the way you communicate. Your thoughts dictate your tone, volume, and presence. If you approach interactions believing you are inadequate or that others will judge you, your voice shrinks. If you approach them with the belief that your perspective matters, your words gain weight. Self-belief begins with internal dialogue. Replace thoughts of fear with statements of capability. Affirm your knowledge, skills, and readiness. When your inner voice is firm, your outer voice mirrors that strength. People respond more to conviction than to perfection, so cultivating belief is the most effective preparation for any interaction. Nonverbal communication reinforces confidence. Your posture, gestures, and eye contact communicate far more than words. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and maintain open body language. The body and mind influence each other. When you present yourself with strength, your mind feels stronger. When you look people in the eye and speak with deliberate calm, listeners sense your authority. Confidence is not only heard, it is felt. Every gesture can either undermine or amplify your belief in yourself. Physical presence and vocal presence must align to create the full impact of confident speech. Voice control is an overlooked tool for expressing self-belief. Speak slowly and with clarity rather than rushing through words. Pauses are powerful. They convey thoughtfulness and command attention. Avoid filler words that signal uncertainty and project your voice so it reaches the listener without strain. Intonation matters. Variation in tone shows engagement and mastery over your message. A well-modulated voice reflects an inner steadiness that reinforces credibility. Confidence is not loudness, it is control. The more composed your voice, the more it convinces others of your authority, which in turn reinforces your self-belief. Fear is the greatest enemy of confident speech. Fear of judgment, rejection, or being wrong can freeze expression. To overcome it, approach fear as a signal of growth, not a barrier. Notice the nervous energy and use it to heighten focus. Begin speaking despite discomfort. Courage grows through action, and each successful attempt at expressing yourself strengthens belief. Avoid waiting for confidence to arrive before speaking. It emerges in motion. Every interaction where you speak authentically, even imperfectly, builds a bank of experience and evidence that you are capable. Self-belief is reinforced by small, consistent wins. Achievements, however minor, serve as proof of capability. Record them mentally or physically and revisit them often. Each win reminds your mind that effort produces results and that you are competent. Over time, these reminders accumulate, creating a reservoir of belief that sustains you during challenges. Confidence is the product of repeated action, not occasional inspiration. By deliberately acknowledging what you have accomplished, you build a foundation that cannot easily be shaken by criticism or setback. Language shapes perception, both of yourself and others. Speak in a way that conveys certainty. Use declarative statements instead of questions that imply doubt. Avoid hedging words like maybe or I think When asserting facts or ideas, precision in language communicates clarity of thought. When you speak deliberately, listeners perceive you as knowledgeable and trustworthy. That external perception feeds back internally, reinforcing self-belief. Confidence grows when your expression aligns with your understanding and values. Words are tools. Wield them deliberately to reflect the conviction you hold within. Listening is equally important to confident communication. Self-belief is not arrogance. It allows you to hear others without defensiveness. By actively listening, you gain understanding and respond thoughtfully. Listening strengthens trust, collaboration, and influence. When you respond with awareness rather than reaction, your words carry weight. Mastery of conversation requires balancing expression with reception. Confidence is amplified when others feel heard, respected, and understood. Your presence becomes a source of calm authority that extends beyond what you say. Criticism and rejection are inevitable, yet they do not define you unless you allow them to. When you speak confidently, you risk disapproval. Emotional resilience is essential. View criticism as feedback, not a reflection of your worth. Evaluate it, extract what is useful, and discard the rest. The more you practice this, the less fear controls your expression. Self-belief strengthens as you prove to yourself that external opinions do not dictate your value. Speaking confidently requires the courage to remain true to your convictions, regardless of external judgment. Confidence grows through repetition. Engage in conversations that challenge you, present ideas publicly, and share perspectives even when uncomfortable. Each act reinforces self-trust. The mind internalizes success through experience. Over time, speaking with authority becomes natural, almost instinctive. Reluctance diminishes because the proof of capability accumulates. Confidence is a habit formed by deliberate action. The more you act, the more your belief solidifies. Visualization enhances both self-belief and delivery. Imagine yourself speaking clearly, articulating ideas persuasively, and commanding attention effortlessly. Picture listeners responding positively, absorbing your message, and respecting your authority. Mental rehearsal builds familiarity, reduces anxiety, and programs your body to perform with assurance. When you combine visualization with actual practice, confidence transitions from abstract hope to concrete skill. Finally, confidence is inseparable from authenticity. Speaking powerfully does not require imitation of others. The most compelling voices are genuine. Your unique perspective, style, and experience are your strength. Attempting to emulate someone else undermines belief because it signals a lack of trust in your own value. Speak in alignment with who you are, and self-belief becomes unshakable. When your words reflect truth, they resonate with authority. The person who speaks confidently and believes fully in themselves transforms every interaction. They influence, inspire, and lead not through force but through presence. Every word carries conviction, every gesture reinforces certainty, and every pause reflects composure. That transformation is visible, undeniable, and magnetic. Confidence begins within, grows through action, and expresses itself in speech. It is built daily, strengthened by consistency, and protected through self-awareness. When cultivated deliberately, it becomes a defining characteristic that cannot be borrowed or taken away. Chapter 80. Surround yourself with growth-driven and positive people. The people you spend the most time with shape your mindset, habits, and results. Influence is powerful, often more powerful than effort alone. Surrounding yourself with growth-driven and positive individuals accelerates your development, while toxic or stagnant relationships slowly drain your energy. Every conversation, every interaction, every shared experience leaves an imprint on your thinking. Your environment determines what you consider normal, what you tolerate, and what you strive for. To reach new levels, you must be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Growth is contagious, but so is negativity. Choosing the right company is not optional, it is a strategic decision that impacts every area of life. Growth-driven people challenge you to expand your capabilities. They inspire you to think bigger, act bolder, and pursue goals that might have once felt out of reach. They provide perspectives that stretch your understanding and expose you to new ideas. When surrounded by such individuals, mediocrity becomes unacceptable because it feels out of place. Their energy fuels ambition. Their discipline models what is possible. By observing and engaging with those who consistently strive to improve, you absorb standards, behaviors, and attitudes that naturally elevate your own performance. Positive people influence your emotional state. Emotions are highly contagious. If those around you are constantly complaining, fearful, or doubtful, you begin to absorb that energy, often without noticing. Conversely, individuals who maintain optimism, resilience, and gratitude encourage you to adopt the same mindset. Positivity does not ignore challenges, it approaches them with clarity, focus, and problem-solving energy. Being around people who choose constructive responses instead of destructive reactions reshapes your mental environment. The emotional habits of others directly affect your capacity to think clearly and act decisively. Evaluation of relationships is crucial. Many people continue investing in connections out of comfort, history, or obligation, even when these relationships hinder growth. Loyalty is valuable, but loyalty to stagnation is a trap. Observe whether your interactions leave you energized or depleted. Do conversations motivate action, provide insight, or inspire reflection? Or do they center around complaints, distractions, or negative patterns? Choosing relationships that reinforce your goals strengthens your path, while tolerating negative influence undermines progress. Be willing to make difficult decisions in the service of your long-term growth. Seek mentors and peers who exemplify the life you wish to lead. Learning from people who have achieved what you aspire to accomplish compresses your learning curve. They can offer guidance, accountability, and insights that would take years to discover alone. Mentors push you to recognize blind spots, refine strategies, and develop discipline. Peers who are committed to improvement create a network of shared energy, encouraging consistency and reinforcing high standards. Being intentional in your associations allows you to leverage collective wisdom and amplify your own potential. Communication is also critical when surrounding yourself with the right people. Express your values and ambitions clearly so that others understand your purpose. People aligned with growth respond positively to clear intent and shared vision. Misalignment often leads to friction or misunderstanding, which can dilute focus and energy. Interacting with individuals who understand, respect, and reflect your objectives strengthens your resolve. These relationships are symbiotic. Each person contributes to the other's progress. Surrounding yourself with the right voices ensures your mental and emotional space is nurtured, not depleted. Distance from negative influence is necessary. Toxicity often comes in subtle forms: gossip, envy, consistent complaining, or discouragement. Even well-meaning individuals can inadvertently suppress growth by normalizing limited thinking. Limit exposure to energy-draining behaviors and instead prioritize relationships that cultivate inspiration and accountability. Physical, emotional, and digital boundaries all play a role. Reducing negative exposure protects your focus, motivation, and resilience. The less distraction from toxic influence, the more room you create for productive thought and action. Supportive people also hold you accountable. Accountability is a catalyst for progress. Individuals who care about your growth notice when you waver, encourage consistency, and remind you of your standards. Accountability partners provide perspective when self-discipline falters. They ensure that intentions turn into tangible results. When surrounded by those committed to growth, hesitation diminishes because responsibility to others reinforces responsibility to yourself. Mutual encouragement transforms individual effort into shared momentum. Energy alignment is equally important. Growth-driven people radiate enthusiasm for self-improvement and achievement. When you spend time with individuals who are ambitious and focused, their drive becomes contagious. Motivation alone is fleeting, but sustained exposure to disciplined and positive energy establishes a baseline of productivity and aspiration. You begin to normalize effort, resilience, and high standards because it surrounds you constantly. Conversely, energy that tolerates excuses or celebrates mediocrity lowers your personal bar. Intentional association ensures your environment matches the level of success you desire. The process of surrounding yourself with growth-driven people requires action, Identify individuals who inspire, teach, or elevate you. Invest time in cultivating these relationships through shared experiences, collaboration, and meaningful conversation. Engage in communities, professional networks, or social circles where excellence is the norm. Be willing to remove or reduce contact with those who consistently pull you down. Transformation requires both addition and subtraction in your social environment. Your network must reflect the habits, mindset, and vision you wish to embody. Influence works in both directions. While you seek growth-oriented individuals, you must also become someone worthy of inspiring others. Model the behaviors, attitudes, and discipline you admire. Contributing value strengthens connections and attracts like-minded people. The more you demonstrate commitment, positivity, and action, the more naturally you draw others who align with your vision. Surrounding yourself with growth-driven people is not passive. It requires active participation in your own development and contribution to others' growth. Learning from diverse perspectives enriches your progress. Seek individuals who challenge your thinking, offer constructive criticism, and provide alternative approaches. Growth thrives when comfort is disrupted and assumptions are questioned. Engaging with different viewpoints encourages adaptability, creativity, and resilience. Avoid echo chambers that reinforce existing biases or complacency. Challenge strengthens clarity, and diversity of thought accelerates mastery. Surrounding yourself with people who stretch your perspective ensures continuous expansion of understanding. Consistency in interaction matters. Regular contact with positive, growth-driven individuals reinforces habits, mindsets, and standards. Occasional exposure is insufficient to create lasting influence. Frequent engagement builds trust, inspiration, and mutual reinforcement. Daily or weekly interaction creates a rhythm that embeds the energy of growth into your life. Relationships are like mirrors. Constant reflection shapes perception and behavior. Align your social rhythm with the habits and values you aim to embody. Surrounding yourself with the right people also reduces internal resistance. When your environment normalizes effort, discipline, and curiosity, it becomes easier to adopt similar patterns. You no longer battle self-doubt or inertia alone. The community models persistence and focus. Growth-driven individuals celebrate progress and acknowledge struggle, providing both encouragement and realism. Their presence validates your path, reducing hesitation and reinforcing confidence. Your inner circle shapes identity. You begin to adopt the language, habits, and mindset of those you spend the most time with. Ambition, resilience, and positivity become natural because they are reflected back to you consistently. Every interaction either reinforces or undermines the version of yourself you wish to become. By curating your associations, you consciously shape your identity. Your results, attitude, and energy reflect the influence of those closest to you. Ultimately, the people you surround yourself with become your invisible mentors, coaches, and allies. Their growth drives your growth, their positivity amplifies your motivation, and their standards elevate your expectations of yourself. Transformation is rarely achieved in isolation. The company you keep determines the speed, quality, and trajectory of your progress. Surrounding yourself with growth-driven and positive people is not a social choice. It is a deliberate strategy for becoming the person capable of achieving extraordinary outcomes. Chapter 9. Zane, reflect daily and track progress with honest self-awareness. Daily reflection and honest self-awareness are the cornerstones of meaningful growth. Without pause, life becomes a series of reactions rather than deliberate actions. Progress is invisible when it is not measured, and lessons are easily forgotten if they are not examined. Taking time to reflect is not a passive activity. It is an intentional investment in understanding yourself, your decisions, and the direction of your life. Self-awareness illuminates patterns, highlights strengths, and exposes weaknesses, giving you the ability to course-correct before small issues become major obstacles. Reflection transforms experience into wisdom, and without it, even hard work can fail to produce lasting transformation. The first step in daily reflection is creating space to think clearly. Life is filled with noise, distraction, and constant demands on attention. Without intentional pause, your mind accumulates clutter, making it difficult to assess progress accurately. Allocate a consistent time each day to review your actions, decisions, and results. Early morning or late evening works best because it allows for both anticipation and closure. In this space, you examine what went well, what went poorly, and what can be improved. Reflection is a mirror. It shows you exactly where you are versus where you want to be. Tracking progress is a practical extension of reflection. You cannot improve what you do not measure. Simple tools like journals, notes, or digital tracking systems provide tangible evidence of action and outcome. Recording accomplishments, challenges, and patterns allows you to see trends over time. When you track honestly, you identify not only successes but also recurring obstacles that may otherwise go unnoticed. Awareness of these patterns is the key to breaking cycles that hinder growth. Daily tracking turns subjective memory into objective insight, giving clarity and precision to your self-assessment. Honesty is non-negotiable in reflection. It is tempting to gloss over failures, make excuses, or exaggerate success. Real growth occurs only when you confront reality directly, without distortion. Honest self-assessment requires courage because it exposes your shortcomings and areas of resistance. When you face the truth, you regain control. Awareness of where you fall short provides the opportunity to develop new strategies, refine habits, and reinforce discipline. Avoiding reality delays progress. Confronting it accelerates it. Reflection also involves evaluating your emotional responses. How you felt during challenges, achievements, and setbacks reveals patterns that affect behavior. Emotional awareness identifies triggers, stressors, and motivators. When you understand your internal reactions, you gain mastery over them. You learn to respond deliberately rather than react impulsively. Emotional tracking can highlight areas where self-discipline or resilience is needed. Awareness of emotional tendencies allows you to navigate pressure and maintain focus even under difficult circumstances. Daily reflection fosters gratitude and perspective. Taking time to assess accomplishments, no matter how small, strengthens confidence and reinforces commitment. Acknowledging progress creates positive momentum, while reviewing setbacks promotes learning. Reflection prevents stagnation by forcing examination of actions versus intentions. It allows you to align effort with values, ensuring that hard work produces meaningful results. Daily honesty and assessment builds integrity with yourself, which becomes a foundation for long-term discipline. Self-awareness extends to habits and routines. Examine how your daily actions align with your goals. Are your choices intentional or reactive? Are you prioritizing activities that drive growth or engaging in distractions that waste energy? Identifying misalignments allows for immediate correction. Habits are the compound interest of daily behavior. Small adjustments produce significant long-term results. Tracking these behaviors ensures you remain in control of the trajectory of your life. Without such oversight, habits drift and results plateau. Reflection also encourages accountability. When you track your actions and outcomes, you hold yourself responsible for results. Accountability is internalized when it is based on honest observation rather than external pressure. Recording progress makes it impossible to deny responsibility. You begin to see clearly how your efforts, consistency, and decisions produce outcomes, positive or negative. This awareness strengthens self-discipline and reinforces ownership of your personal growth journey. Analyzing mistakes is a crucial part of reflection. Failure is inevitable, but repeated failure without insight is avoidable. Honest reflection transforms mistakes into lessons. Ask yourself what went wrong, why it happened, and what changes are required to prevent recurrence. Viewing errors as feedback rather than judgment fosters resilience and continuous improvement. The capacity to learn from mistakes is what separates individuals who stagnate from those who rise rapidly. Mistakes are opportunities, and reflection is the tool that unlocks their value. Reflection also supports strategic thinking. Reviewing daily choices allows for evaluation of effectiveness, prioritization, and alignment with long-term goals. You identify what produces results and what wastes effort. This insight informs adjustments to strategy, habits, and focus areas. Daily evaluation ensures that your energy is directed toward actions that compound over time. Without reflection, strategy becomes abstract and inconsistent, With it, every step is intentional, purposeful, and aligned with growth objectives. Journaling is a highly effective tool for reflection. Writing down thoughts, actions, and lessons consolidates understanding and provides a record to revisit. The act of writing clarifies thinking, reinforces memory, and highlights patterns. Journals also provide motivation, showing progress when results are slow or hard to see. Documenting wins, insights, and even frustrations transforms reflection from internal contemplation into actionable intelligence. Journaling makes daily evaluation tangible and measurable. Reflection encourages humility and self-correction. Honest self-awareness reveals that even the most competent individuals have blind spots and limitations. Accepting this truth fosters learning, adaptation, and growth. Humility is not weakness, it is recognition that improvement is continuous, and that insight often comes from observation and feedback. Through reflection, you refine your character and sharpen decision-making. The more accurate your self-perception, the more effective your actions become. Daily assessment also strengthens confidence. Observing incremental progress builds trust in your ability to produce results. You see evidence of your discipline, focus, and capability. Confidence grows not from hope, but from proof. Each day that you reflect and adjust reinforces the understanding that you are in control of your growth. Self-belief is grounded in action, not aspiration, and reflection is the bridge that connects effort to evidence. Self-awareness supports emotional intelligence. By reflecting on reactions, communication, and behavior, you develop empathy, patience, and understanding. You learn how your actions affect others and how others influence you. Awareness of interpersonal dynamics improves relationships, collaboration, and leadership ability. Emotional intelligence emerges naturally when reflection becomes habitual. The more attuned you are to yourself, the better equipped you are to navigate external environments effectively. Consistency in reflection is vital. Occasional review yields insights, but daily practice embeds awareness as a habit. Over time, reflection becomes automatic, guiding choices subconsciously. Consistency ensures that progress is tracked, missteps are corrected promptly, and growth accelerates. Daily reflection is not a task, it is a lifestyle. It shapes thinking, prioritizes actions, and strengthens resilience against distraction and complacency. In the end, reflection and self-awareness create control over your life. They prevent drift, expose hidden obstacles, and clarify direction. The act of measuring progress, confronting reality, and adjusting strategies produces accelerated growth. Individuals who practice daily reflection develop insight, wisdom, and discipline that set them apart. Their actions are intentional, their decisions informed, and their progress measurable. By committing to honest self-assessment each day, you harness the power of experience to transform potential into results, ensuring that every effort compounds into long-term success. Chapter 20: Embrace discomfort and rise stronger every single day. Discomfort is the signal that growth is occurring and progress is underway. Every moment that challenges your comfort zone is an opportunity to evolve. Life is designed to test limits, and those who avoid difficulty remain small, predictable, and constrained. Embracing discomfort requires a mindset shift. It is no longer a threat but a teacher. Resistance, struggle, and uncertainty are not obstacles to success. They are the foundation of strength. The moment you accept that challenge is a necessary part of growth, fear begins to lose its power. Growth is never passive, and transformation is never easy. Those who rise consistently are not shielded from discomfort, they have learned to harness it. Physical, mental, and emotional discomfort all serve as catalysts for improvement. When the body is pushed through effort, muscles strengthen, stamina builds, and resilience increases. Mental discomfort, such as tackling complex problems or learning new skills, expands intelligence, creativity, and problem-solving capacity. Emotional discomfort, including facing fears or difficult conversations, strengthens courage, self-awareness, and emotional resilience. Each domain reinforces the others. By confronting discomfort deliberately, you accelerate your development across all areas of life simultaneously. Avoidance is the natural response to pain, challenge, or uncertainty. Comfort feels safe, predictable, and easy. It seduces people into stagnation, creating a life of repetition and mediocrity. The price of comfort is delayed potential. The person who embraces discomfort understands that temporary struggle leads to permanent strength. Every decision to act despite resistance compounds into capability, confidence, and resilience. Growth is not immediate, it is the cumulative effect of countless moments where discomfort was faced rather than avoided. Discomfort is also a tool for clarity. When situations feel difficult, your values, priorities, and limits are revealed. Pressure highlights weaknesses and illuminates areas for improvement. Those who shy away from challenge deny themselves insight. By leaning into difficulty, you learn what you are capable of, what you need to develop, and what you will no longer tolerate. Awareness gained through discomfort is invaluable because it guides smarter action, sharper decisions, and more intentional living. Habituation to discomfort strengthens character. Each experience that stretches your limits conditions you to handle future challenges with greater ease. Facing difficulty once creates temporary adaptation, but consistent exposure builds permanent capacity. Life rewards those who tolerate pressure without surrendering. Over time, fear diminishes because familiarity replaces panic. Strength is formed in repetition, not in isolated acts. Those who train themselves to endure and adapt become unstoppable forces in both personal and professional arenas. Action is the antidote to fear and discomfort. Thinking about challenge creates resistance, but action transforms potential into reality. Start with small acts that stretch you slightly beyond your comfort zone and expand progressively. Each success reinforces belief in your ability to overcome difficulty. The brain responds to action with confidence, making subsequent challenges less intimidating. Momentum builds through repeated confrontation with resistance. Discipline is forged through doing, and courage grows in proportion to the actions taken despite discomfort. Discomfort also reveals the boundaries of complacency. Most people live far below their potential because the cost of discomfort feels too high. When you embrace challenges that others avoid, you gain advantage. You develop skills, habits, and mindsets that remain inaccessible to those who seek ease. Excellence is cultivated in the tension between difficulty and effort. Those willing to endure temporary pain gain permanent results. Complacency is the enemy of progress, and discomfort is the vehicle that drives you beyond it. Resilience is cultivated through repeated exposure to difficulty. Life will never be predictable or easy, so learning to remain grounded under pressure is essential. Every challenge encountered and faced strengthens adaptability. Failure becomes instructive, obstacles become training, and struggle becomes a measure of growth. Resilience allows you to maintain performance, composure, and focus even when circumstances are hostile or uncertain. Strength built in discomfort translates directly to life's unpredictable moments. Discomfort is also a teacher of patience. Transformation rarely occurs overnight. The struggle often feels prolonged, but consistent effort despite resistance yields results. Each day you confront difficulty, no matter how small, you reinforce perseverance. Patience, combined with consistent action, produces exponential progress. Immediate gratification rarely leads to meaningful achievement, but those who embrace gradual challenge gain skill, insight, and mastery. The capacity to endure is inseparable from the capacity to succeed. Mindset is critical when facing discomfort. Viewing challenge as opportunity rather than punishment reframes struggle as productive. Every difficult experience holds lessons, skills, or perspectives that would not arise in ease. When you choose to interpret discomfort as growth rather than suffering, your energy shifts from resistance to engagement. You become proactive rather than reactive. This mental framing transforms potential frustration into motivation, anxiety into focus, and hesitation into action. Perspective determines how much growth you extract from every trial. Reflection enhances the impact of discomfort. After facing challenges, take time to analyze what was learned, how you responded, and how you can improve. Honest assessment converts struggle into insight. Every moment of resistance becomes a step toward mastery when paired with self-evaluation. Tracking how discomfort changes your abilities, mindset, and resilience ensures that challenges contribute to compounding growth rather than being endured in vain. Reflection transforms raw experience into deliberate transformation. Discomfort builds courage and confidence simultaneously. Each confrontation with fear reinforces the understanding that you are capable of more than previously believed. Confidence grows from evidence, not wishful thinking. The repeated act of facing resistance provides undeniable proof of capability. With each trial, hesitation diminishes and self-belief strengthens. Courage is not innate, it is forged through exposure to difficulty and reinforced by consistent action. Discomfort expands creativity and problem-solving ability. When situations push you beyond familiar solutions, the mind is forced to adapt and innovate. Relying solely on comfort zones limits thinking to what is known. Pressure sparks ingenuity because conventional approaches are insufficient. Those who embrace difficulty cultivate the ability to navigate uncertainty, adapt strategies, and find solutions under constraint. Innovation is rarely born in ease, it is born when resistance forces the mind to stretch. Daily practice of facing discomfort develops habitual strength. Incorporating small, intentional challenges each day, whether physical, mental, or emotional, builds incremental capacity that compounds over time. Simple acts like taking cold showers, speaking in public, or tackling a difficult task without delay contribute to greater resilience. Regular confrontation with resistance ensures that when major challenges arise, you are prepared, composed, and capable. Small daily discomfort becomes a foundation for extraordinary achievement. Community can enhance the experience of discomfort. Seeking challenges alongside others who embrace growth creates shared momentum. Observing peers confront difficulty provides motivation, benchmarks, and insight. Mutual encouragement reinforces persistence and normalizes struggle. Being part of a culture that values effort over comfort accelerates adaptation and strengthens resolve. Social support does not reduce challenge, it amplifies learning and reinforces the mindset that discomfort is an ally, not an enemy. Ultimately, embracing discomfort transforms identity. The person who confronts challenge consistently is no longer defined by avoidance, fear, or hesitation. Habits, mindset, and self-perception evolve through exposure to resistance. Strength, resilience, courage, and adaptability become ingrained traits. Daily action against resistance compounds into a new version of yourself, one who is capable of handling uncertainty, overcoming obstacles, and achieving results that once seemed impossible. Discomfort ceases to be a burden and becomes the engine of transformation. Rising stronger every day requires integration. Each challenge faced, every fear confronted, and every uncomfortable moment navigated contributes to growth. Combine deliberate action, honest reflection, and consistent exposure to resistance. Celebrate incremental wins while recognizing lessons from struggle. Over time, your capacity, confidence, and competence expand exponentially. Strength becomes habitual, courage becomes instinctive, and growth becomes inevitable. Life rewards those who willingly embrace the discomfort required to become exceptional. Discomfort is not temporary, it is the medium through which lasting change occurs. Avoidance ensures stagnation, engagement ensures evolution. Every day presents an opportunity to confront resistance, test limits, and strengthen resilience. Embracing challenge shapes character, sharpens abilities, and accelerates progress. Those who rise through difficulty cultivate a life of mastery, agency, and unshakable confidence. The consistent choice to act in discomfort, reflect on lessons learned, and persist without surrender is the path to becoming a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself every single day.